Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to the Coaxium Cantina. I'm Benjamin.
And I'm Aidan.
In today's episode, we are going to be talking about The Bad Batch, Episode 5, Rampage. Now, we're a bit late to this, because life and things like that, but hey, that's what we do over here. Be late to things. It wasn't the most interesting episode anyway, was it? Really?
No, not really.
It wasn't really all that. That's it. That's
No.
the end. Right. Okay. I'll see you guys. uh, it. Aidan, what are your thoughts on it? You can go first.
Oh, well, cheers. Thanks for putting me in the hot seat.
You're welcome.
It is actually boiling in my room. Need to get a
Same.
pillow fan. Um,
The UK
yeah.
weather, am I right, guys?
Yes, everyone in the UK will feel this.
I mean, the fact that we're
Um,
talking about the UK weather instead of this Bad Batch episode shows how boring and dull it was.
yeah. I think literally the only thing of note was that Omega got the bow and arrow that she had in the promotional stuff. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I personally really like it. I think it's a cool weapon. Um, but yeah, I mean, apart from that, and the Rancor, which I do believe is Jabba's in Return the Jedi.
I thought it
Um,
was, but apparently it's not. I've read somewhere that
well,
apparently it wasn't, but I think it
I
is.
want to stick with it is because it works too well. It's before Return the Jedi. It's an infant or an adolescent Rancor, and Bib Fortuna picked it up with the Gamoran Guard, so it
Yeah.
just works too well.
But in Return of the Jedi, when the Rancor gets killed
Yeah,
and that guy starts crying,
yeah.
that guy wasn't there. And I
He
think he
wasn't.
was part of the Rancor's origin story.
Well, maybe it might be the first person who the Rancor meets at Jabba's. I don't know. See, this is what's good because we're going to be getting a Rancor spin-off show, obviously.
Oh,
So
yeah, honestly. I mean, to be fair, every character that's introduced in every single series is getting its own series, so.
yeah, so go
Um,
from Moochie
I've
Moochie
just looked
spin-off.
up, I've just looked it up, and it says, no, I've lost it, as I'm about to say it. Come on, internet, please work. Um, he was an adolescent Rancor who belongs to none other than Crime Lord Jabba the Hutt, which we knew. But Moochie is a completely different Rancor to the Rancor we see in Return of the Jedi. Um, Moochie is a female apparently, and the Return of the Jedi one, named Patissa, is a male.
Well, then this is really weird then, because surely it just what's the point of doing this whole thing when it works out that there's just a second Rancor?
Maybe it's the mother, but then
Maybe.
they would need a father. I mean, I'm not an expert
Yeah.
in Rancor biology, but
And plus, with the years, that would have to make that Return the Jedi Rancor like really young still.
well, this one was really young, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but
Because it
if
wasn't
you're
like a
saying
full
that's like the
Rancor.
offspring, then
Yeah,
it would need to be alive for a couple of years.
it's a bit odd. I don't
Yeah.
really know why they did that, to be honest. It's a bit like the Jedi that died in the first episode, like Under the Cloth.
Yeah.
Why not
It's kind
make
of
it
like
someone that
adding
we
it,
know?
but yeah. Hmm.
It's just a bit weird.
Probably the first major negative I have for this series.
Well, it's not really a major negative. Like, it doesn't break
Well,
the series, but
no, but at the same time, it's a bit stupid. Like, if you've got something that works that
yeah,
perfectly, why not do that?
yeah. But another thing is, we had a Jedi informant in this episode who named Sid. What did you think about him? Or her? I can't remember the gender. I watched it like 4 days ago.
Um, I I don't know. I think it was a weird one because Sid's clearly like gonna be someone I feel like they're gonna go to quite a lot.
Yeah.
because of how they left the episode.
Hmm.
Sid's obviously clearly got connections with Bib Fortuna and finding out who Fennec was.
Yeah.
But I saw some really cool screenshots as well that apparently in not Fennec, in Sid's room, they have the 1978, I think it is, concept art of Boba Fett's white helmet in the background
Oh,
and
really?
Jango Fett's blasters in the
Oh, that's really
background,
cool.
which I think is a cool little collector's nod. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we may see more references / artifacts in the room, maybe. So
Yeah.
that's something good that the character has.
I mean, it was a bit like, as you said it, I just thought of Dryden Voss in Solo.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they could be a character like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously got connections to Jabba, and I would imagine that because Jabba's is a crime lord, but then Darth Maul is also a crime lord in that time, right?
Yeah.
So I imagine that that's a pretty big rivalry at that point.
Well, that's the thing, because Maul has control over the other crime syndicates, but he necessarily doesn't run his own syndicate. He just controls.
Well, yeah. But he's still the crime lord of all of those.
Yeah.
So, but Jabba doesn't necessarily run his own crime thing. Like, he gets other people to do it. Yeah. I guess he owns it in that sense.
The Hutt cartel has always been its own.
Yeah.
syndicate.
Yeah. I see what you mean. So if we're going off Darth Maul and Jabba being crime rivals, I guess is what they're called. Do you think that could play into a Darth Maul show, maybe?
Possibly, but then it's the point where would you rather have a film about Maul being like a standard character, like a standard civilian, or would you rather him like throwing his lightsaber about? It's kind of like
yeah. I think that Disney are trying to, well, I say Disney, Lucasfilm at the moment are trying to like do one area at a time.
Yeah.
And I think they're focusing on that period between episode 3 and 4 at the moment.
Which I think they should.
So I think, they definitely should. But I think if we're going to get a series of Darth Maul, it's going to be then and not anywhere else.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most solid thing that Sid could lead to if this is about crime syndicate connections.
Yeah.
And that's the thing as well, because I don't know whether to call Sid a he or she. I'll just go he.
I can't even remember their voice.
I can, it's a weird one. But Sid said that because he knows that they're clones, he referred to them as deserters, which they technically are.
So you've just gone, I'll refer to him as a she.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh god. Well, so you can't even keep my first train of thought. But Sid said that he might. Oh, for God's sake!
Just Sid said that Sid.
Sid said that Sid was possibly going to leak that they're deserters, and then went back on it and said, "Don't worry, I won't." But there's kind of that in the air that it could be maybe an Imperial informant.
Yeah.
If stuff goes south, because we know that Jabba does have loose ties to the Empire, from the Vader comics.
Yes.
Very, very loose ties.
Well, you could say loose ties, and you could also say Vader choking out Jabba because he called him a Jedi.
Yeah.
Potato, as they say.
Yeah, you don't fuck with Vader.
Oh no. Another disappointment came from this episode was the Zygarians, which we saw in the trailer.
Yes.
What a disappointment that was.
That was 100% the worst way to play that off. I thought they were either going to go to Zygaria or have Rex and them versus the
Yeah,
Zygerians, so
yeah,
kind of like a bit of a callback to when Rex actually fought them in the Clone Wars.
yeah,
But now it's just like, you know what? I see your good story, and I'm gonna raise you a shit one.
yeah. It's like I the way they got captured by the Zygerians was so bad as well. It was just terrible.
Yeah, if they're meant to be this like experimental badass group of clones who have gone on like countless suicide
And
missions,
then they just get captured just instantly.
yeah, it kind of downplays it a bit.
Yep.
And it's a shame as well because we kind of got them having their whole format as well. They said like, Echo, you're the eyes in the sky. Me and Tech, we're gonna go in and try and rescue, and Wrecker, I need you for a diversion. So we actually got like one of their cool little formations of how they'd actually handle the situation, and then it's just like, boom, stun bolt, and we're captured. And then relying on Omega,
literally.
who they didn't even know was going to be there, who
Yeah,
just opened the Rancor cage, and then boom.
yeah, yeah. That. And the fact that they got beaten by Omega eventually. It was just like there's supposed to be this massive like slave race or something, and they just get beaten by this little girl that releases the Rancor.
Although Hunter against the main bloke was a pretty cool fight because I mean he used his knife and he has martial arts.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he
true.
did the Iron Man 2 versus Whiplash thing, which I really liked. The Zygerian put the electro whip around him. He kept getting shocked, and they kind of like held onto it and started wrapping it round to get closer.
Oh
And
yeah,
then he knocked him out. It was
yeah.
so cool.
Does John Favreau make this then, or is John Favreau involved in this or not?
I don't think so, but I'd say if he was, then that would be an awesome callback.
Yeah, because there was obviously in the Mandalorian there was the bit where he walked away from the explosion, which was very Iron Man-esque.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, that I mean, I literally had 3 points written down on this episode because it was just that boring. Since the first episode, and maybe the second episode, I can't really remember the second episode. It's been so long.
It didn't even stick to our like thoughts either, because we said like they didn't really have a story, but now that they've got Fennec hunting them, you can kind of build a story off that. But
Yeah.
they only really referenced it at one point in this episode, and that was only, you know, oh, you do this job for me, I'll find out who hired her. What, they didn't even find that out, they just found out who she is.
Yeah.
And then that took up the whole episode, so it was a bit lackluster.
Literally. And I mean, episode 4 was, I mean, as we said last time, episode 4 was, it wasn't as good as the last ones, but it was bearable.
Yeah.
Whereas this one had nothing. For me personally, it just had nothing.
Yeah, it didn't really contribute.
And it's literally since the first episode, I know not all the episodes are going to be as good as that first episode, but it's just gone down and down and down since that first episode. And it's a bit worrying, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting if it what it does to make it good again. I don't want to say good because it's still decent, but it wasn't.
To get it back up to the level of the first couple of episodes.
Yeah. So, any more thoughts, Ian?
I mean, obviously, I hope that it's kind of like this is the low point, and hopefully it will go back up.
Yeah.
Because I think it was good because we kind of had Omega sidelined again. It was mainly just going back to the Bad Batch thing and less of like the whole family aspect. It was more of their like tactical action, which, you know, I prefer.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we get something, and I'm still waiting on Rex. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, I
But I
feel like we
also
need Rex
saw,
sooner rather than later.
yeah, and I also saw something which people have been saying, which I would actually take, is people want the Delta Squad to meet up with them, which I think could be pretty cool.
Which one was the Delta Squad?
The Clone Commandos,
Oh, yes. Yeah.
the
Yeah, yeah.
4 or 3.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that's all we have to say on this episode.
Indeed.
It's a bit of a short one because it was boring and there's nothing really to say about it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening / watching. We will see you next time. Also, hopefully we're going to have a bit more free time. Well, some of us are going to have a bit more free time in the next few weeks. So there should be more coming. I know I've been promising that for a while, but there should be more coming.
Now we can finally deliver on the promise.
Yes. So thank you guys for watching / listening. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.